let's then do message from your guides. Message from your guides, because this collective, you are wondering, can I ever change? Can I ever break the loop? Can I ever close these karmic contracts to ever be aligned with a real deal, with a real soulmate, with a true soulmate? But you're on the right track. You know that you need to mend this relationship with yourself first. So let's do some guidance. Let's maybe start from these. And then we're going to do tarot for, maybe we should tap a little bit into that karmic contract. I always explain this to you guys, right? Karmic contracts, every person that enters our life, there's no coincidence. There's a little bit of randomness in life, but there's no coincidence. Every person that enters our life, we have a soul contract with. But some soul contracts are on a level of lesson, exist on a level of lesson, right? So let's say you have to learn to stop being anxious in relationships, to heal your anxious attachment style, right? This soul contract can be delivered by a variety of souls, right? So the soul itself is just a deliverer of that contract. They come into your life, right? But this may as well be a different person. It is a karmic relationship that is a deliverer of that karmic contract. But if you would have tapped yourself into a different timeline, make different choices in life, a different soul would appear to teach you the same lesson. This is why when we exit a relationship without fully learning the lesson, forgiving, releasing everything that we've mentioned in previous part, that soul contract remains open. And they're going to return to us in a form of different person. Maybe different background, maybe completely different person. Maybe different intensity, but the core lesson will be same. Right? So those are those contracts on the level of lesson that are delivered by a variety of person, and it really doesn't matter. You can have few souls. You can have like this specific soul. Okay, I'm going to have a karmic relationship with you, and you're going to trigger my anxiety. You're going to hurt me, right? But if, in childhood, if I take different choices, if I like move to a different country and we're not going to align in that timeline, then I'm going to have you to deliver that lesson to me, right? So it's like you have options, because what matters here is not the deliverer. It's a complicated chessboard, this life, but it's a lesson. But some karmic contracts they exist on a level of lesson, but they exist on a level of karma that you have with a specific person, with a specific soul. This happens when we go through a variety of lifetimes, repeating things with a specific soul. And the pain and the harm and the damage, soul to soul, is so difficult that we build karma with that person. So this happens when we hurt someone, or when we're incapable of forgiving someone. We really fail these lessons, and so it starts to build up, not just on the level of that lesson, but on the level of a specific soul. You build those black cords, karmic cords between each other that tie you in the spirit realm. This is why it gets repeated in the next lifetime, until, what did I tell you? That is the only way to release a soul contract on the level of a person. And I don't care what anyone says. The moment you die, if you still have resentment in your heart towards a specific person, rest assured, you're going to have to meet them in the next lifetime. So if you really want to release, that's the only way. That's the only way, and it comes from through forgiveness to yourself. Watch the previous part. So we're going to do tarot for that first level of soul contract for you. So what kind of a soul contracts on the level of lesson you have that you're not seeing? And I'm telling you it's going to be about anxiety, but we'll see. And self-love, but let's see. What is the guidance for this collective? Message from the guides, please. Energy healing. Let's do maybe 2 or 3 more. Okay. Didn't I say it? Didn't I say it? I said it. Confirmation. hold on. That was the second card. That was all right. Okay, so this is what we have. Your first card is energy healing, number 39. So maybe maybe you do need a little bit of cleanse. I'm sensing. I'm not sensing anything very serious in a sense. I feel like you need to learn to work a little bit with your own energy, to sense into your own energy, because remember we started this reading saying that you're feeling very heavy, you're feeling very lost hope. Can I really change? Will this ever change? Sitting a little bit in this emptiness, right? And this is unhealed, broken heart of an emptiness, of wanting something that you don't know how to alchemize. So again, energetically we attract. So maybe you need a little cleanse, a little reset, a little energetic reset, right? Sometimes we can do this literally physically by just cleansing properly, cleansing our body, moving our body, decluttering, making little changes. It's like this rejuvenation, sort of a process. I'm reading through this card just to give you the highlights, but maybe also a little outlook on what you surround yourself with, because everything in this physical world, everything is energy. So people you spend time with, places you go, music you listen to, movies that you watch, everything is energy. So try to lift that up a little bit, clear that out. I'm hearing the clutter as well. We have seek your purpose. I'm hearing many things. We have as well, underneath of that, we have unconditional love. Okay, we have unconditional love. I want to read this to you because it's beautiful. And we have connect to a mentor. What I'm hearing for this collective, that you are in this chapter of life that you need to take a decision. Am I going to continue to repeat these cycles, or am I going to end this? Am I going to dedicate a couple of, even if it's going to be years? Nothing comes, there are no quick fixes. I always say this to you guys, it's a shallowness of the ego world that wants the urgency, the quick fixes. Everything needs work. Everything needs calmness, peace, surrendering, patience, right? So will you take a decision that I want to embark on this journey? And if that's the case, I feel like you're going to start cleansing your energy, learning to work with energies. And maybe it is your sign to connect to a mentor. And I always say this to you guys, whatever journey you're at, and I don't care what anyone says. Can we do it completely on our own? Yes. But this is why spiritual teachers exist. This is why healers exist. This is why people who live a life of service exist, to hold you through this process, to hold space for you, to help you. So it's easier, so it's faster, so it's more efficient. We're supposed to learn from each other. Ultimately, we're one. And if someone is refusing to connect to a mentor, because I've met people who are so stubborn, saying that you can do it on your own, all you have is within, you don't need any kind of support. It's a wound of hyperachiever. It's a physical, it's an illusion of separation. We're all one. Why wouldn't this other person that, I see myself in them, support me on this journey? So this is a message of guidance from your guides, from your spirit team. So perhaps, maybe you already have someone on your mind that you've been thinking to sign up for a session with this person. If that's the case, this would be your sign, whether that's a reader like myself, or maybe an energy healer, or a shaman, and maybe just a therapist, right? We all walk this journey. It's not something that I recommend, because therapists, they work with the mind. It's only a small part of the equation. They work with the mind, with the physical thing. They're very 3D. So if we're talking about holistic healing, true healing, spiritual healing, journey of the soul kind of a healing, therapists won't do that for you, right? But it's better than nothing. So if that was whatever was on your mind, whatever you're guided towards, I feel it's going to be someone spiritual teacher, spiritualist, especially that we have that energy healing on top of that. And to find your purpose in life, no one's purpose, you guys, no one's purpose. And again, I don't care what anyone says, no one's purpose is to be with a specific person. Our purpose in this life is to learn, is to grow, is to expand, is to love ourselves, is to discover ourselves, is to give back, discover our gift and give it to others. Tap into your authentic self. And being with a soulmate is something that may be part of our destined path. And like I said, I truly believe that there's a soul partner for everyone on your highest timeline, right? The question is whether you're going to get there or not. That's first question. And the second question is, do you understand that it's a compliment? It's a cherry on top of the cake that is you. I want to read that. True love asks for nothing. True love is a vibration of the heart. It's something that exists within. As divine feminine, it is your job to be the beacon of this vibration and always lead with it. Your love needs no physical proof, no external validation or confirmation. It is not something that is earned or gained. It does not depend on reciprocity. It has no beginning nor end. It simply exists. Regardless of circumstances, it asks for nothing. It only wants to give. This love is the magic key to sacred alchemy. This card invites you to fully step into the vibration of unconditional love, to amplify it, work with your heart space, with energy of your womb. I feel this collective. I just heard something that you ain't gonna like, but I hear the key life for this lifetime is to learn unconditional love, and that does not come with anxiety and anxious attachment style, with needing, with wanting, with demanding reciprocity. Love is love. Love exists. Love exists. And sometimes we have to spend years on our own in the physical world, on this path, to truly embody that, to truly learn that my purpose in this life was to teach people that the greatest love of all, like the song says, is the love that lives inside of you, towards yourself. The best things in life, in order for them to come in, we have to fully let go. It's just how it works. It's just how it works. You have to learn that love. Everything that this card said, you can listen to it again. What truly is. It's your purpose. And all these relationships we're showing to you, we'll tap into tarot in a moment. But listen to what we have here. And that was what I was saying. I knew it. I said this to you in part 1, I believe. Father wound. Father wound. Heal your masculine. You didn't have proper masculine model. We all have masculine and feminine within, right? We all have these two energies within. When we are children, we need a divine, healthy model of a feminine and a masculine that is usually embodied by a father or mother in order to learn what masculine energy means and what feminine energy means. So looking at our father, if he is a divine masculine, we're going to learn what divine masculine means. Looking at our mother, if she is divine feminine, we're going to learn what femininity means. And then we're going to teach them from our parents, if they are in their divinity, for these energies inside of us to interact. And being in inner union, we're either going to drop into our feminine and rise into our masculine as we grow up, right? As we go through adolescence and growing up, right? Sometimes it happens in early adolescence. But if these models are distorted, the energy within us will be distorted. So if your father was not in his healthy energy, your masculine energy will be distorted. And similarly for a mother. And you having both, you have heal your masculine and you have father wound, it means that your father, this collective, don't make this fit. If your father is a good father, is a nice father, it's not your collective. Because all your wounds, and I've heard this in part 1 already, they link to a father wound. Maybe you had a father who never taught you how a woman should be treated, who never respected, who never thought that women were equals. Maybe he was chauvinistic, maybe, you know, chauvinistic, misogynistic, disrespectful, controlling, I'm hearing as well. I'm feeling guided to say to you, this collective as well, that you should learn more about divine, feminine and masculine energies. If you go to my website, there's a divine love section, and in that section you can read about how the healthy feminine and masculine energy looks like, and what are the qualities of that, and distorted masculine and feminine energy. But right now you are being guided to heal these wounds, to heal your father wound, to heal your masculine energy, to understand that masculine energy properly. And I do hear that you're guided to do this with a mentor. So whoever you choose, whoever, your guides will show you. If you're ready, truly say to your guides, I'm ready to embark on this journey. Show me my healer. Show me my healer. And they will show you. You will feel it. You will either dream about this person, or you will find a video of this person. Our healers, you guys, I always teach you this, they really resonate. So we look at them, and not only they feel like this big sister energy or big brother energy, I want to learn from you, I want to be who you are, but we usually resonate overall with them. It's like we look at them, look up to them, right? We resonate with the sound of their voice, their messages really resonate. So even if you watch videos online, sometimes it can happen that you are doing something during the day and you're going to hear something that this person said, right? Their voice will resonate, how they look, their style, that you will just enjoy their energy. Because us healers, with you guys, those of you who are meant to learn from us, right? We have a one-way soul contract. There's a golden cord, one way, from our heart to yours. Because us healers, spiritualists, we live a life of service. We have also many of these contracts, life that we're meant to change, shift, have impact on. It's a one-way street always. And you will feel that. You will feel peace from the voice of this person. You will feel love. You will feel hope. You will feel, you will just gravitate towards them. You will know. So as I'm speaking through these things, you would already have someone in your mind, right? All right, let's do that tarot. Let's tap into that soul contract of yours. What are you not seeing? Sorry. What are you not seeing that you've repeated in you haven't closed in that soul contract, and you've repeated with many people? What are you not seeing? I would say that all the relationships that you enter, if you look back at all your partners, right? I have a couple of really good tools on my website. If you want to use these two, just came to my mind. I have this program, I think it's the one that is magnetizing your soulmate. That is exactly that, what you need right now, to close all the past. Close it. And put yourself on a timeline where you actually magnetize your soulmate, right? Just a deviation. My candle went crazy. All the relationships that you had, if you look back right now, I bet you that none of them were reciprocated. You would always give more, this collective. You would always give more. Because you do not fully understand reciprocity. So I'm being guided to say something to you and to explain something to you, right? And maybe this is it. Maybe you are struggling. Remember, this is the card that you had. Hold on. We have this unconditional love, right? And many people struggle with that, so it's okay. And we have reciprocity. So I say to you, and this is what this card said, true love is unconditional. True love wants nothing. True love asks for nothing, right? True love doesn't say, oh, in order for me to love you, you have to be a good partner. You have to give me what I give. No. True unconditional love is all about giving. It's the fullness of your heart that is healed, that is open, and is ready to give all of you. Okay? This is unconditional love. You look at someone whom you love unconditionally and you feel, I love you. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how you treat me, no matter what you choose for yourself, I love you. And I will always love you, because true unconditional love has no beginning and has no end. This is the love on a level of a soul. Okay? This is why with our true soulmates and twin souls, we don't fall in love with them. We remember we love them. This is why the love exists on two levels, on the level of a soul and on the level of the ego. The love on the level of the ego is the love on the level of our avatars. That love is real too. This is why I said to you before, when you feel that love towards your karmic partner, a soul you've never encountered before, that love is real. It's real, it's true, and it needs to be healed, but it's on the level of the ego. It exists on the level of physical plane. Whereas with our true soul connections, soulmates, twin souls, that love is eternal. It has no beginning, it has no end, it is unconditional. Even if our ego resists, our souls will always love each other. Right? Now, understanding that, many people struggles to understand, okay, well, if unconditional love means that I love you no matter what, even if you treat me poorly, even if you reject me, even if you ghost me, even if you step away from my life and you don't treat me the way I deserve, how does it make sense? Make it make sense. But reciprocity has nothing to do with unconditional love. Because when you truly love yourself, right, you are sitting in a place of soul. You can love somebody, but then say, right now you are wounded, and I will always love you, but I love myself too. So as long as you're not meeting me at my level, I will not choose to be in a relationship with you. Because loving somebody and being in a relationship with this person are two different things. And it's something that many people don't understand. And this is where true divine feminine energy comes in. What a true divine feminine embodies and is supposed to teach others, right? When I love myself as a divine feminine, I sit in stillness. I love myself. I know who I am. I know what I deserve. This is the bar, okay? True divine feminine doesn't chase, doesn't ask, doesn't demand. To your men, to the men you love, you will never ask for anything. You will never tell him to change. You will never demand anything, saying, I deserve this, I give it to you, so you have to give it to me. Never. You will give, and give. However, if you love yourself, you will understand that the bar is here. So you will just observe. And in that observation, if you will notice that there is no reciprocity, that the unconditional love that you are materializing and constantly pouring into this man's heart, because this is the divine flow, we give through our heart, they receive through their hearts, you will end that relationship. Because true divine feminine, we don't ask anything. We are meant to magnetize. We are meant to inspire our men to want better, to be better, to connect to divine through us, to love us the way we deserve. We inspire them, but we don't push them and force them. We magnetize. right? This is what you need to understand. There is no space for anxiety. That non-existent when you talk about true love. I love you unconditionally. I sit here in my stillness, in my bubble of self-love, and my divinity and my femininity. If you want to match that energy, become my protector, my provider, my worshiper, my true divine masculine. I will allow you in that energy. And that reciprocity will be created naturally. In that flow, I give all my unconditional love into your heart. And then you ground that. This is how it works, you guys. I always explain this to you. Divine feminine, through my heart, all the unconditional love that I have, I pour into your heart, my masculine. Then the masculine, what is, we are the creatrix. What is created through us, through the divine feminine flow of the creatrix, what was created in the spirit realm on a level of love, on a level of frequency, on a level of idea, they accept it through their hearts, they ground it into existence through their sacral, and they give it to us through the sacral. This is why we receive through our sacral and we give through our heart, and it's other way around with men. They receive through their hearts, they give through their sacral. That's why intimacy is such a powerful love language. And oftentimes that protection, that being that provider, that gift giving, it's really beautiful if it comes from a true divine masculine. That's what you need to understand. And you didn't understand that in these contracts. You wanted something from these men. You wanted, with anxiety, you were forcing it. Because true divine feminine woman, when you see that you give and you give and you give and you're not getting anything in return, you don't demand it. You just walk away in peace and in silence. It doesn't mean that you stop loving this person. And going back to those karmic contracts of yours, I bet you again that every man that you look back and you will really look at them, they had zero emotional maturity. They had zero emotional maturity. It wouldn't be a surprise. And again, I'm hearing that father wound, daddy issues, I'm hearing. They are copies of your father. Sometimes we don't see it, right? It requires a hell of a reflection. And I've known so many women who deny that, right? Because sometimes it's because they make this ideal version of their father, so they're not seeing the shortcomings of the father, the distortion on the level of the father, and they're not understanding. Oftentimes, for example, this is a case when we talk about women whose father was a okay father, but a horrible husband. Cheater, right? Never treated the woman as equal, constantly, the Casanova energy, but actually a good father. So they live in that denial. How could I say that my father wasn't a good father because he was good to me? But the father that is not a good husband cannot be a good father. A masculine that is not a good divine masculine for his feminine is never really a good father. It cannot, confirmation, you cannot separate these two. So there's a reason it came to my mind. So either that's the case, that your father, maybe he's given a lot to you, so you feel like you don't want to be ungrateful and say that he really was distorted, but you're ignoring the fact that he was a horrible partner to your mother. Or he was not the nicest father, but he had good qualities. We all have good qualities. I always say this to you guys. There are no monsters. I don't care what anyone says. Even the biggest psychopaths on this world, they had a good side. Maybe tiny and a little, but there's always something good that you can find about a person. And if you really want to hold on to it, you're gonna hold on to it without seeing the balance, without seeing the truth. Right? So you may be holding on to certain good things and you're not seeing that your partner is your partner's were copies. But there's lack of